Before we begin this week's video, we've got new coffee members. Thank you to Zydex Unicorn for the Kibble tier, and Blue and Proto Horizon for the Tennis Ball tier. Thanks so much, guys. Heyo everyone, Misha B. Barkin here. We're back to the grind for this video. If you're unaware, I'm doing videos on topics I covered when I first started my channel. I wasn't great at explaining myself and my videos kinda sucked, so now we're back today and my videos suck less, hopefully. Today's video is about a topic that seems to come and go into the limelight, and that's whether or not you should come out as a furry. We saw this much more in the brony fandom in its heyday. Get it? 'Cause they're ponies. Laugh. The brony fandom had a few videos pop up about coming out to their parents about liking a show, which I always felt was kinda weird, but of course with the brony and furry communities being closely related, we saw furries follow suit and post about their experiences coming out. But is that even necessary? Should being a furry be something that you should come out as? Or is it just not that big of a deal at the end of the day? Once again, I feel it's important to mention that this is my opinion. I make videos about topics such as these to encourage discussion on said topics, as I feel it's important to talk to people who both agree and disagree with you. That being said, if you're gonna comment or reply to others, please stay respectful. You're not gonna agree with everyone on everything, and at the end of the day, and especially with a topic like this, disagreeing with other furries isn't the biggest deal. So yeah, with that tangent out of the way, let's get into it. Firstly, I want to talk about my situation with how many people know about me being a furry. I post about it a lot on Facebook, maybe a bit too much, so all of my close friends know about Misha and Rascal. My parents don't really use Facebook much, though I guess my dad's seen it and is aware of it now, so that's neat, I guess. I haven't really come out to them or told them about it, but if they're aware, cool. If not, neat. Anyways, yeah, I made a post about Misha early on, but I wouldn't call that coming out, just kinda deciding to post about a hobby of mine, you know? So why would people feel the need to come out as a furry? Well, for a lot of people, furry shenanigans can take up a lot, if not all of their time and extra money via suits, cons, videos, art, and more. This isn't a huge deal if you're an adult or living alone, but if you're living with a parent, they might be curious or need to know what you're up to, so telling them might be a necessity. That being said, if you know that your parents won't be accepting or understanding of the furry community, it's best to hold off on furry stuff and wait until you're older, or only take part in furry when you're in an online setting. Another thing might be the close ties to both the furry and LGBT communities. Some people may use coming out as a furry as an eventual vessel to coming out as something bigger, such as a certain gender identity or sexual orientation. Furries also tend to use the community to find themselves or explore their sexuality or gender identities. While I'm cis and strongly feel as such, this community helped me find out the fact that I'm bisexual, and I know I'm not alone. Watching furries use the community to come out as their true selves is amazing to see, and reminds me every day why this community is so important to some furries. This is likely why some people feel the need to come out as being part of this wonderful community. Now it's time for the other side of the argument. One point is that, I mean, once you turn 18 or move out, your money and time becomes yours and yours alone, so who really cares what you're doing with your time and money? No one really needs to know what you're up to in your spare time or what you're doing with your extra money, you know? That's not really a major point though, but a bigger point is simply the fact that the furry community is, at the end of the day, just a hobby. Sure, some people do make it a major prominent part of their life, or even make a living off furry stuff, myself included, kinda, but that doesn't mean they have to come out about it. Some people have their furry lives and their normie, human, I don't know, non-furry lives, I guess? That's absolutely fine, and just as acceptable as having both your furry and regular life together. Another really old video is me talking with my friend Denali Wolfdog about how she keeps furry stuff separate from the rest of her life, while I am much more keen on blending the two. Anyways, back to it being a hobby, it's almost no different than liking a show or sport, you know? I get that it's weird in the mainstream, but does that mean it's something you really have to come out about? Bronies did the same thing about liking a show, and while I also enjoyed the show, I never really felt the need to come out as a fan. That's just kinda odd in my opinion. Lastly, coming out as a furry can be seen as pretty disrespectful towards those who have come out as a different gender or sexuality, as the latter affects much more of your life than the prior does. Being a furry just gets you hate from mostly trolls online, maybe a few snickers in person. Being gay or trans is illegal in many parts of the world. Not to mention, if you're a furry, you can just not be a furry one day. That's the neat thing about interests. They can just kinda stop. Your sexuality or gender doesn't really work like that. So where do I sit in this debate? Well, personally, I think coming out as a furry is absolutely unneeded, and is definitely an insult to those who actually have to come out as different, more life-affecting things. At the end of the day, it's really just an interest. Now, in no way am I saying not to talk about it. Hell, shout it from the rooftops. Be proud of being a furry. Just don't make it a giant spectacle or event when you eventually tell people about it, you know? It's not something that needs to be its own big thing, and will only make things kinda awkward, so just be casual about it, to be honest. Lastly, this is a bit of a blurred line for minors and those still living with their parents. You might need to bring it up to them if you plan on using any money for furry stuff. They'll likely have to know about it in one way or another. But like before, it doesn't need to be a big thing. Ease them into it by mentioning Disney. Yeah, people love Disney. Telling someone about your furry side isn't inherently coming out. It's all about how you do it. Be casual, be cool, be you. So we're to the end of the video. Reminder that at the end of the day, these are all my opinions, and yours can and likely will be different. So fill me in. Did you come out as a furry? Do you plan to? What are your thoughts on it? Let me know in the comments below. I also want to thank you all for the support and love over this past year. My channel went from 400 subs to over 7,300 in the span of 2021 alone. That's unreal. Thank you for tuning in, new or old, to hear me rumble on about furry topics every week. Last thing before I go, thank you for being so lenient with my sort of spastic upload schedule. I've been trying to adjust to work and being awake at night, and coming home after work to make videos at like, I don't know, 9 a.m.'s been an absolute struggle, but I'm working through it. Thanks for being so understanding and supportive. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!